In our last lecture, we started talking about Unitarianism, Transcendentalism, conservative congregationalism, all the isms you can imagine. And in this particular lecture, we're going to see some of the controversy that Transcendentalism stirred up, sort of up close with some key texts in opposition to the Transcendentalists, as well as a couple of Emerson's key texts. So this lecture, The New School and Its Detractors, is one where we're going to get into the concepts that Emerson puts forward outside of nature in some of his lectures, and we're going to see the Unitarian backlash against it. The main criticism that you see among detractors, and these are usually Unitarians, not the conservative Congregationalists. They couldn't care less about the Transcendentalists. They weren't that interested. It was the Unitarians that were opposed to the Transcendentalists and called them the new school of philosophy. These detractors consider Transcendentalism to be sort of a foreign mystagoguery, an imported kind of new, strange, or odd philosophy. They couldn't quite wrap their head around why did these guys think the way they did? Why didn't they go to school to study philosophy rather than go out into a mountaintop and just contemplate nature? I thought these guys were taking shortcuts, trying to get around the hard work of trying to figure out problems using reason and rational inquiry and argumentation. This actually wasn't helped very much by the Transcendentalists themselves. They shunned definitions. They didn't like to define who they were or what they were, and they preferred a rhetoric of oracular pronunciations more than explanation. Emerson and Thoreau are so quotable because they throw out these sort of rhetorical Molotov cocktails that make you stop, pause, deaden your tracks, and think about what they said. They love using wonderful one-liners that are very audacious and that make you stop and think about what it is they're trying to say. And that was their style, and that didn't really help them with this very Enlightenment-oriented group of elder Unitarian scholars and ministers. The two chief detractors emerging among the Unitarians were Andrews Norton and Francis Bowen. Norton was a scholar at Harvard, a very prominent theologian. Francis Bowen was more of a historian, philosopher. He too taught as well. Norton was more oriented towards the clergy and religion. Bowen eventually sort of gravitated more towards an academic and writing career. But both of them were prominent Unitarians. Both of them were two of the best writers of the era, and they were the ones who were the mainstream Unitarians that were going to take on this new Transcendentalism stuff as soon as it was out of the gate with Emerson's publication of Nature, the American Scholar, and his Divinity School address. In our last lecture, we started talking